Hello and welcome to Miniature Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and this week I want to reveal the shocking truth about our cursed dice rolls. Cursed dice, take one. You know, there's one truth in wargaming that unites us all, no matter what era, scale or rules we play. It's not about tactics, history or even painting. No, it's about dice, and specifically the fact that our dice hate us. Not dislike, not disapprove of, hate with a burning, vindictive passion that no statistician can explain away. Now sure, every gamer's had a moment where they roll badly and mutter something like, "Oh, these dice hate me." But for wargamers, this isn't just a passing complaint, this is a lived experience. A slow motion, statistical car crash, witnessed by friends, reenacted every game night and backed by decades of tragic, undeniable evidence. Because here's the theory. Dice are supposed to be impartial randomisers. Over time, good rolls balance out the bad ones. Probability evens out. Math is math, but in practice, not for us. No, for us, probability looks at our carefully deployed troops, lights a cigar and says, "Not today, sunshine." Within most gaming groups, it's basically an accepted fact. When the dice hit the table, disaster isn't just a possibility, it's inevitable. The phrase, "you couldn't roll a 6 if your life depended on it," has been aimed at me so many times it should probably go on my gravestone. And unfortunately, it's not wrong. Now, over the years, I've heard thousands of horror stories. Entire armies collapsing because of one bad roll. Generals failing their one job. Heroes tripping over their own swords. It's universal. Every gamer has lived it. Take Posty's games for example. Posty is the mad genius who runs our group, the Rejects. In his campaigns, a commander's fate is sometimes decided by the single roll of a d20. Roll high, your leader survives. Roll low, well, hope they prepared a nice epitaph. And I swear our leaders have a worse survival rate than fruit flies in a chemistry lab. Half the time they go out mid-sentence muttering something along the lines of, "They'll never hit an elephant at this dist," and then thunk, gone. So what do we do? How does the long-suffering wargamer cope with this dice curse? Well, I've seen some creative coping strategies and I've talked about them before. Some funny, some worrying, some probably grounds for psychiatric referral. Some turn their frustration into full-blown dice vengeance. I've seen, literally firsthand, I've seen dice set on fire like medieval traitors at the stake, smashed to dust with a hammer in a shower of plastic confetti, or shoved in the oven until they melt into a poisonous little puddle of goo that's probably more dangerous to us than to them. But my personal favourite has to be the ritual sacrifice, publicly destroying one unlucky dice in front of the others just to send a very clear message. Betray us and this is what's coming to you, this is your fate. Now, one of my favourite dice vengeance stories, almost certainly apocryphal, and I have told it before, but it's too good to disbelieve, involves a gamer who set his cursed D20, set it down on a golf tee, doused it in light fuel and set it on fire, and then whacked it into the horizon with a 9-iron. Glorious! Except the burning fragments scattered and one shard was left spinning like a top at his feet. And when it stopped spinning, the still burning shard stared back up at him, showing a 1. Even in death, the dice mocked him. We all have our personal dice trauma stories. Mine, well, too many to count, but there are here's a couple of greatest hits. I once ran a Call of Cthulhu role-playing session, building up hours of mystery and dread. My future wife was one of the players. The group finally reached the climactic showdown with their enemy, but before the fight they had to descend some slippery stairs into his lair. So I called for a simple dexterity roll. She rolled, she failed. I rolled for consequences. Her character slid down the stairs and was knocked unconscious. Now, any sane, decent, relationship-preserving person would have fudged the roll, let her stay in the fight. But no, I stuck to the rules. So while everyone else's characters fought for their lives, her character lay unconscious on the floor, unable to participate. She's never played another role-playing game since, and honestly, I can't blame her. Years later, I tried a game with my kids. Maybe I thought the curse skips a generation. Trust me, it doesn't. My daughter once rolled 2 natural 1s in a row, a morale test and then an effect roll. Her whole army fled the table. She looked at me with wide, betrayed eyes as if to say, "Is this normal, Daddy?" All I could say in response was, "Welcome to the hobby, kid." But my crowning dice disaster? The Battle of Howell. Mention it to any of the rejects and you'll get a groan and a 1,000-yard stare. On paper, my cavalry should have absolutely smashed the opposition. They had everything: numbers, position, morale. Instead they collapsed. Routed once, routed again, and in so doing they ploughed through my own reserves like a wrecking ball, destroying not just my division but another player's as well. In 2 turns, half our army had disintegrated thanks entirely to my dice. Beautiful, tragic, unforgettable. And that's the thing. Wargaming teaches patience, humility and above all resilience, because despite overwhelming evidence we keep picking up those cursed cubes. We tell ourselves we don't believe in curses or fate, but after decades of catastrophic rolls I do sometimes wonder if there isn't a trickster god of dice laughing every time they clatter across the table. Now, the dice curse used to be mine entirely, an ever-present spectre haunting my rolls. For years I couldn't throw a decent result to save my life, and my friends made sure I never forgot about it. But somewhere along the line I shook off its icy grip, and now the curse seems to jump unpredictably from player to player in our group. These days I almost feel sorry for my mates when it lands on them, almost. After years of mockery at my expense, let's just say I'm not exactly rushing to offer condolences. But here's the thing. Despite the curse, despite the heartbreak, the humiliation, the endless ones, we keep playing, we laugh, we roll again. Because at the end of the day, it's not about winning, it's about the stories. And let's be honest, no one remembers the battle where everything went right. The best stories, the ones we retell for years, are the ones where everything went hilariously, catastrophically wrong. So what about you? Has the dice curse laid its icy hands on your shoulder? Were you held in its grip for years like me, or have you shrugged it off and re-gifted it to a mate? As always, I would love to hear your stories in the comments below. So in case you're wondering about the YouTube clapperboard, I'm a member of Partner Perks, and this is one of the perks that was of a limited edition YouTube clapperboard. I know it's silly, but it's made me unusually happy. This was arrived this morning after getting back from holiday, so I'm well chuffed. That's going to go pride of place and get used on every video I make. So that's it for this week. Just a short one, I'm afraid, because I've been away on holiday. I only got home from our holiday in the early hours of this morning, and I definitely haven't had enough sleep to recover from the journey. So as always, please join in the conversation in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and share. Maybe consider becoming a member. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with weekly content from the channel, please tap the bell notification icon. So until next week, stay safe, keep gaming, and of course, keep rolling high.